Listen to the questions and answers and improve your English. Subscribe for more.
Hi there. I heard you're great at speaking English. Can you give me some tips?
Of course, the first tip is to practice regularly.
That sounds fun. What's another tip?
Try to surround yourself with English. Change your phone and computer settings to English.
Good idea. How about improving pronunciation?
For pronunciation, practice tongue twisters like she sells seashells by the seashore.
That's tricky. Any advice on expanding vocabulary?
Read books, newspapers, and online articles in English. Make a list of new words you come across.
Great. How do I work on my grammar?
You can use grammar workbooks or apps and try to write in English regularly.
Speaking of writing, how can I improve that?
Start a journal in English. Write about your day or thoughts. It will help with fluency.
What about speaking with native speakers?
That's a fantastic idea. Join language exchange groups or find a language partner online.
I'm worried about making mistakes.
Don't be. Mistakes are part of learning. Embrace them as opportunities to improve.
Should I learn formal or informal English?
Learn both. Formal English is essential for professional settings, while informal English is for everyday conversations.
How can I sound more natural?
Pay attention to contractions like I'm instead of I am. Native speakers use them a lot.
What if I get stuck in a conversation?
It's okay to ask someone to repeat or explain if you didn't understand. People are usually happy to help.
How can I develop my listening skills?
Listen to podcasts, audiobooks, and news broadcasts in English. Try to understand different accents.
Any tips for speaking confidently?
Practice speaking in front of a mirror or record yourself. It helps build confidence.
What about building on my English in specific industries?
If you want to work in a specific field, learn industry-related vocabulary and phrases.
How can I remember all these tips?
Create a study plan and set achievable goals. Consistency is key.
Speaking speed can be a challenge.
True, but practice speaking slowly and gradually increase your speed.
Should I translate from my native language?
Try to think in English rather than translating in your head. It'll make speaking smoother.
How can I overcome a fear of public speaking in English?
Join a public speaking club or take a course. Practice and exposure will help you gain confidence.
Is it essential to use idioms and slang?
Not necessarily, but learning a few can make you sound more natural in casual conversations.
How can I deal with different accents?
Listen to a variety of accents and try to mimic them. It'll improve your understanding.
What if I forget words in the middle of a sentence?
Use synonyms or describe the word you're trying to remember. It happens to everyone.
How can I sound more polite in English?
Use polite phrases like please, thank you, and excuse me in your conversations.
How do I know when to use a or an?
Use a before words that start with a consonant sound and an before words that start with a vowel sound.
Can you recommend any English learning apps?
Duolingo, Babbel, and Rosetta Stone are popular choices for language learning.
Should I use slang in formal situations?
No. Avoid slang in formal settings. Stick to standard English.
How can I improve my English accent?
Practice speaking with native speakers and mimic their pronunciation.
What about understanding colloquial expressions?
Keep listening to native speakers, and you'll gradually pick up colloquial expressions.
How can I overcome the fear of making phone calls in English?
Start with short, simple calls and gradually work your way up to more complex conversations.
Any tips for job interviews in English?
Sarah, prepare answers to common interview questions in advance and practice with a friend.
How can I avoid common grammar mistakes?
Proofread your writing and use grammar checking tools like Grammarly.
How can I remember irregular verbs?
Create flashcards or use verb conjugation apps for practice.
How do I use prepositions correctly?
Study preposition usage in different contexts. It can be tricky, but practice helps.
Is it okay to ask for feedback on my English?
Absolutely. Seek feedback from teachers, language partners, or online communities.
How can I overcome my shyness while speaking English?
Start by speaking with close friends or family who understand your struggles.
How can I improve my English speaking while working a full-time job?
Dedicate a specific time each day for English practice, even if it's just 15 minutes.
Is watching English news helpful?
Yes, it's a great way to learn current vocabulary and improve listening skills.
How do I know which English accent to learn?
Choose the accent that appeals to you the most or is most relevant to your goals.
What if I mix up similar sounding words?
Practice pronunciation and spelling to differentiate between them.
How can I build a strong English vocabulary?
Learn a few new words every day and use them in sentences to reinforce your memory.
Should I use slang when talking to teenagers?
It depends on the context. Some slang is acceptable, but be cautious in formal situations.
Any tips for writing emails in English?
Keep emails concise, use proper greetings and sign-offs, and proofread for errors.
How can I handle misunderstandings in conversations?
Politely ask for clarification if you don't understand something.
How can I reduce my accent?
Work on pronunciation and intonation, and practice speaking slowly and clearly.
How important is body language in English communication?
Body language matters, so pay attention to gestures and facial expressions for effective communication.
What if I feel frustrated with my progress?
Stay patient and persistent. Language learning takes time, and progress may be gradual.
That's right. Immersion helps you get used to the sounds and rhythm of English. Speaking of rhythm, practicing intonation is important too.
Yes, intonation affects the meaning of your words. Try to mimic native speakers to improve your pronunciation.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's a part of learning. Just keep speaking and you'll improve.
Building your vocabulary is crucial. Learn new words every day and use them in sentences.
Also, practice speaking slowly and clearly. Don't rush, especially if you're unsure about pronunciation.
Another tip is to record yourself speaking. It's a great way to identify areas where you need improvement.
When you speak, pay attention to your body language. It can help convey your message.
And don't forget about non-verbal cues like eye contact and gestures. They can enhance your communication.
Using idiomatic expressions can make your speech more natural. Try to incorporate them into your conversations.
Right, but be cautious with slang. It can be informal and might not be appropriate in all situations.
Surround yourself with English speaking friends if possible. Conversing with native speakers is incredibly beneficial.
If you can't find native speakers, join English-speaking communities or language exchange programs online.
Practice listening as much as speaking. It helps you understand different accents and improve your comprehension.
And when you don't understand something, don't hesitate to ask for clarification.
Watching English news can help you stay updated on current events and improve your vocabulary.
That's true. And try to read news articles aloud. It's a great way to practice pronunciation.
Another tip is to choose a topic you're passionate about. It makes speaking about it more enjoyable and engaging.
And if you're unsure about grammar, there are plenty of online resources and courses available.
Yes, but don't obsess over grammar. Effective communication is more important than perfect grammar.
When in doubt, use simpler words and sentence structures. It's better to be clear than to confuse your listener.
Pay attention to the sounds that are challenging for you. Some sounds may not exist in your native language.
True, you can find videos and exercises online that focus on specific pronunciation challenges.
Practice tongue twisters. They help with diction and enunciation.
And don't underestimate the power of repetition. Repeating sentences and phrases helps with memory.
Reading aloud is a fantastic habit. It not only improves pronunciation, but also boosts comprehension.
Joining English clubs or discussion groups can provide you with regular speaking opportunities.
When you're practicing with others, don't be shy about giving and receiving feedback.
That's essential for improvement. Constructive criticism can help you identify areas to work on.
Work on your listening skills by transcribing English audio or trying to understand song lyrics.
When you speak, use a variety of sentence structures to make your speech more interesting.
And pay attention to your tone. Adjust it based on the formality of the situation.
If you're nervous about speaking, start with simple greetings and gradually build up to longer conversations.
Public speaking in English can be intimidating, but it's a valuable skill. Practice it when you can.
If you have the opportunity, take English pronunciation and speaking courses.
Record and listen to your own voice regularly. It helps you track your progress.
And if you're preparing for exams like TOEFL or IELTS, familiarize yourself with their speaking sections.
Traveling to English speaking countries can be an immersive experience and a great way to practice.
But even if you can't travel, you can simulate real-life situations through role-playing.
Don't be discouraged if you don't see immediate improvement. Language learning is a gradual process.
Practice every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Consistency is key.
Learn about the culture and customs of English speaking countries. It helps you understand context.
And remember that English is a global language with many accents. Embrace the diversity.
When speaking, visualize the words in your mind. It can help with recall.
If you're struggling with vocabulary, create flashcards with English words and their meanings.
Surround yourself with English signs, labels, and notes to reinforce your learning.
And if you have kids, consider teaching them English. Learning together can be fun.
Try tongue exercises to improve your articulation. They might sound silly, but they work.
When speaking, focus on one aspect at a time. For example, practice word stress one day and rhythm the next.
Record your voice while speaking and compare it to native speakers. It helps you identify differences.
Take breaks when you're practicing for an extended period. It prevents burnout and helps with retention.
When you make mistakes, laugh them off. It's all part of the learning process.
And if you can, travel to different English-speaking regions to experience diverse accents.
Keep a journal of new words you've learned and use them in sentences.
Create a pronunciation playlist with English audio and practice, repeating what you hear.
Read English newspapers or magazines. It exposes you to a variety of vocabulary.
Use language learning apps and websites. They often have interactive exercises and quizzes.
Join language exchange programs to converse with native English speakers.
And don't shy away from using technology like speech recognition software for feedback.
Attend English speaking events and workshops in your area to meet fellow learners.
If you're a fan of TV shows, watch them with English subtitles to reinforce your listening skills.
When speaking, try to think in English rather than translating from your native language.
If you're in a conversation and you don't know a word, describe it instead.
Use humor in your conversations. It makes the learning process enjoyable.
Don't rush to fill every silence in a conversation. Take your time to think and respond.
Remember that everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. Don't be too hard on yourself.
Set realistic goals for your language learning journey. Celebrate your achievements along the way.
And finally, never stop learning. English, like any language, is constantly evolving.
That's true. Keep exploring new words, expressions, and ways to express yourself.
With dedication and these tips, you'll become a confident English speaker in no time.
Indeed, the journey might be long, but it's incredibly rewarding.
Thank you for all these tips.
You're welcome. Remember, practice and persistence are key to becoming fluent in English. Good luck.